Hello Flosstube, it's Catherine here, Coco Crafter. This is my channel about cross stitching and this is Flosstube number 4. Today is Wednesday the 11th of November. Welcome to anyone watching this channel today, welcome to anyone new, and welcome to people who have watched my channel before and are returning back. Thank you to all of you. So it's a bit of a wet, dull day here in North Yorkshire today. Very autumny stroke winter looking outside, and here in the UK we have gone back down to a form of lockdown which started last Thursday and is for 4 weeks. So we are staying in to stay safe and trying now to find time or filling in all the time with lots of stitching projects to keep myself busy and do the job we need to do. So I've got quite a few things to tell you about today, so I've made some notes because I don't want to forget anything. I'm going to start off with some shout outs first. These are just Flosstubers that I've watched this week, and I watch regularly. They're not all of them, but these are just the ones that I've watched so far this week. The first one is Lisa Abbey's Needlecrafts. Lovely lady, does some lovely stitching and has a lovely home. She also does some quilting and her quilts are really lovely. Lisa left me a comment on my last YouTube video which I really appreciated, and she really spurred me on to carry on, and it was really nice to have that comment left. Another one is Stacey from Nineoneonestitcher. Really enjoy tuning into Stacey's channel. Beautiful stitching, and just really enjoy watching. Stacey also has a Facebook group called Stitching 911, which I highly recommend you go and check out if you're not a member. There are lovely people on there, regularly post lovely updates on their stitching, and it's just a very general friendly place to go and be a part of. Last weekend I pushed myself to join in with the first Zoom stitch chat that they had going on, and it was so nice to just spend some time with other people, just informal stitching, having a lovely chat, and I'm really glad that I made myself do that. So I will look forward to joining in with them again on that group. So as I said, head across if you don't know about it. A lovely place to go and become a member of. I also want to shout out to Anna, who is known as Stitch Roadies and Quilt Roadies. She has 2 separate channels, one for her cross stitching, one for her quilting. Anna is such a joy to watch on her videos, and I really enjoy it. So they're the ones this week that I've caught up with, that I know that a lot of you will know most of these that I say, but as I'm new, I'm just really finding a lot of people. So, and if you're joining in with me today and you're new, maybe this might be of use to you to find some people. Anything I talk about today on my video, I will put a link down below in the notes under the video, so if anybody wants to follow anything up that I've talked about or said, the links will be there for you. So Yeah, like I say, we are in lockdown here in the UK, so nowhere to go, don't need to go out. But before we went into lockdown, I did have a few charity shop finds which I thought I'd share with you today. The first one's, I think, saying being in the right place at the right time is appropriate. I was looking for some books, and down on the bottom shelf I found some Sue Spargo books. This was the first one. This is brand new, and it's a journal basically, and there are beautiful pictures inside of Sue's work, and there are places where you can add notes, or you can add some of your own designs, and I'm just really pleased that I found this. It's sort of like a traveller's notebook size, but such a lovely book and such a handy thing to have, and so inspirational as well. Now, I paid £1.50 for this book, which is probably the equivalent of $2 in American money. But I'm so pleased I found this one. Another one I found with this book, alongside this book, is another Sue Spargo book. This is a book about Sue's work. There's such beautiful illustrations inside here, and such an inspiration to look at all these pieces of work and stitching that Sue has done. So again, this was £1.50, so I think the bargains of the day had to go to these two books when I went into that shop. I'm really going to treasure these and look at these for inspiration. A third book I found this week, not Sue Spargo, written by Wendy Williams, but running along the same theme, Wild Blooms. Beautiful book, beautiful illustrations and things to make, all done in wool felt, applique and stitching. But such a beautiful book. Again, another charity shop find. So really pleased with this one as well. Because I was so pleased that I'd got these books and inspired by them, I went into my stash box, and I've had these perlé threads in my box for a long time now, and so I thought I'm going to have a little play with these and these books. And I have some wool felt, so I've just done myself a little sample piece. I believe these are called wool pennies. So I've put them on because this looks really autumnal to me, and I'm just going to have a play around with some stitching, some ideas from the book, and just to see how things go with it. And I could make it into a little sampler, or a needle case book, or a journal cover. But I think it's going to be fun to have a go with this and use all these lovely coloured threads and just play. My background is in embroidery. It's what I trained as many years ago, so I am familiar with embroidering and the different types of stitches. But this has really inspired me, this book, to go ahead and just have a play and see what can happen with this bit of fabric and these circles. So I shall have a play and post some progress at another date to you. The final book I found before lockdown, another charity shop, was this sampler book and how to create your own designs. It's a beautiful book. It has lots of illustrative samplers inside. and a little library of designs that you could put your own sampler together. I thought, I'm not in a hurry, but I thought it might be nice for me to have a look and maybe see if I could design my own sort of pandemic sampler for my family that would be unique to us. So I'm glad I found this one, and it's really interesting and something that I can have a go at and see what will happen. So again, if I make any progress on this, I'll keep you up to date with it. So that was the charity shop finds for the last week. I have got some Christmas finishes to show you now, which I have been working on this week. I'm really pleased with. So the first one, this is from Hands-On Design Patterns, and there's 3 chalkboard ornaments on here. So I've taken the pattern, and this first one, Goodwill to All, I stitched, and this is my finished piece. So this was another charity shop find. I've painted it black. I think it cost me £1. Added my stitch piece onto some fabric boards, mounted it, some little embellishment pieces, and I think this is a lovely piece to hang up. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, and I think the stitching shows really well on this. The second one came from the same pattern, and it's the Glad Tidings. So this one has become a hanging piece. This board I bought and used for a Halloween piece, but there is Velcro underneath, and I was able to take the Halloween piece off and then reuse the board for this Christmas piece. So again, lovely hanging piece. Love the way it highlights the stitching and the embellishments on the top. The final one is another hands-on design, but from a different pattern, and this is Cool Yule. Have a Cool Yule. Really like this. Now, this one I've finished onto here. This was another charity shop find. It was it's like a notice board, and it had a really old scratched blackboard piece in the middle. So I painted it all black, and I inset on top of the blackboard a board with a piece of fabric on, and then placed my stitching on the top and added some embellishments. It's got 3 little hooks at the bottom here, and I'm hoping that if I can have some cross-stitch little mini stockings, maybe would be nice to hang off the bottom of there. But I'm pleased with the way it's turned out. It also has a little shelf here, so if I decide to add something onto the top of there, I can. But I'm really pleased with how it's turned out as it is, and I just love the way it shows that bit of stitching off. And I've added a wooden snowflake onto the top. So they were my Christmas finishes for this week. Going on to my works in progress. Going back to the Facebook group Stitching 911, they are holding a Carolyn Manning stitch along. Quite a few people have joined in and chosen their own charts. There are some lovely pieces out there, some geometric pieces, some novelty pieces. They're just lovely. Now I chose the Winter Snow Gnomes for my piece. Now I have started the piece. There's one of the gnomes' hats. The trouble is, I'm not sure if I like the colour that I've chosen. Theirs is a bit darker, mine's a bit lighter. So I'm not too sure that I like this colour yet. Somebody did give a suggestion in the group about doing the gnomes individually, which I really liked that idea, and they could maybe be made up into ornament pillows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first gnome, then have a look at it, see if I like it on this fabric, decide whether I'm going to make 4 individual gnomes into pillows or something like that, or whether I'm going to do them all on here, or decide whether I'm going to choose a different colour fabric to do the whole lot on and keep these as individual. So I'm going to do the first one, which I'm hoping to make progress on this week, and then I'll make my decision from there. But really enjoying being part of the stitch along, and looking at everybody else's work as well. I'm going to work on these and see how it turns out. Now that's my stitching work in progress at the moment. I do also have something else that I've finished this week, and I'm in the middle of trying to decide how to finish this off. So I've done it as a round. I have pulled some green trim out, which I'm deciding whether to use that alongside it as well. But I also had bought this wooden bowl from the charity shop and painted it black. Now, I wanted to see how I could fit this onto the top of here without it being permanent. So that I could remove this piece of stitching after Christmas and then add another piece of stitching for next year. And I was thinking about putting some potpourri inside so that it had a nice smell, and it could be something, a feature of a room. But I'm not sure how I'm going to finish this just yet. One of the ideas I had was I have drilled 4 little holes at each point, and I was thinking that perhaps I could attach with some ribbon, and then that way it could be removed and another piece put on. But the jury's still out with this one. I don't know if any of you have ever completed a piece like this. Be really interesting to know how you did, if you have managed, or if you've got any suggestions on how I can finish this piece off. I'd love to hear about them if you want to put them in the comments. It's always nice to have different ways of thinking about how things can work, because I may just not be thinking something at the moment, and somebody could say something and I think, oh yeah, that will work. So I'd love to hear any suggestions or any ideas from any of you, if you can think of anything. So that will be something I'll keep working on as well. Haul for this last couple of weeks. I'm really recently been taken to by the patterns from the Cricket collection. These I just love. I just love that little man in the middle. He's so cute. Now they do patterns for all of the months, and I'm hoping to kit this one up this week because I would like to collect all 12 of them and do them so that I can swap them around each month. And I think if I start it now with my Christmas stitching, it'll be ready for January. So this was the first one I got. Excuse me. I did buy December's, but I don't know if I'm going to get it done in time for this December. So, but I will definitely have it done for next year. So again, beautiful, beautiful pieces of pictures and illustrations. This one I bought for Christmas. Like I said, I don't know if I'll get it done for this Christmas, but definitely for next Christmas. And I like the fact that they have the months, but they also have the seasons as well. And the last one I bought was spring. I'll be looking forward to the spring soon. So, yep. So they were the 4 patterns that I bought for myself. And I really like these. And I really think I like stitching letters and words. So I'm really going to enjoy these. Also, before lockdown, I did do a little bit of shopping. And in my local hobby store, Hobby Crafts here in England, I found some chalkboard arrows in a pack. They're quite long. They're 43 centimetres by 10 centimetres. They're only made of like mount board type things, but I was thinking that these may go really nicely onto here. And I'm going to see how it goes. You get 5 in a pack, so, and they're only £2.50 a pack. So I'm going to have a look once I've done my first one, once I've done the January. I'm going to see how nicely it will fit onto here. Yeah. So that's something to work on. I also went to our local book stationery store, The Works, and found this lovely sleigh. And so paint it over, and I can put a lovely piece of cross stitch in the middle of there, and that'll be nice. I also found these other sleighs. They're tree ornaments, but if I remove the wreath for now, this is a nice solid base to put a piece of stitching on, paint it over, and then they could be hung up. So that's a nice idea. And the final one I found was a hanging sign board. I've got plans just now to make a Santa Please Stop Here sign, so I'm thinking that will go really nicely on there and could be hung up by the door for my grandson. So these were just a few finishing off things that I found as I was going along. My next thing I'm going to talk about and show you goes back to Anna again at Quilt Roadies. I've been watching Anna for a while now and following her progress with her Hexi flower stitch alongs that she's been doing. She's got some beautiful ones that she's finished and hangs up at the back on the wall. And I was really intrigued by this, and I'm really inspired by the idea of what she was doing. So I followed it through, and it's run by Spring Daisy Stitchery. She's on Instagram, and she's I think she's hosting this stitch along where you make 2 hexes a week, following a theme, and then at the end you'll have so many hexes to put together in a quilt. But it is really, really interesting, and there are some beautiful hexes that have been posted on the Instagram posts already. So I've dipped in and started to have a go. These were my first 2 to do with sky. Now I love the moon and the stars, so these were my first 2. And then the second 2 that I've done to do with food and drink. So my favourite, which is Alice in Wonderland, put it that way. Got to have a tea party, eat, drink, very fun. And the second one, as it's this time of year, pumpkins Lovely fabric. I love this fabric. So I've pulled out some other fabrics from my stash to help me with these. Now, like most people, I had a staycation this year in the UK and went back home to visit my mum in Scotland. So I have some tartan fabric and I have some deers. Now I come from the Highlands of Scotland where we have quite a lot of these around, so they will make a nice hexie for one of the themes. I always go every year, once at least every year, down to London, which is my favourite place here, and spend a week sightseeing, travelling around. So I've pulled out, as we have to stay at home, this fabric, and I've also got some underground tube fabric, which I've been to every one of these, so this is personal to me. That will make another hexie. I have some sewing fabric, and this will lead me onto something else at the end of this video to talk about. And this one is bobbin. So that's another one. Another one, I have some chickens. And coming from North Yorkshire, needs to have the sheep. We have a lot of sheep, famous for sheep, famous for wool. So that's another one. And I have some, in honour of Anna, really, some bees from the beehive. So they will be fabrics that I'll use just now to continue on with the Hexi stitch along flowers. Also this week I was looking for something in a box, as we all do, and I found something I had forgotten I'd even stitched a number of years ago. This is a Biscornu, I think is how it's pronounced. It's like a little cushion with a button in the middle. I remember stitching this and being really proud of how this had turned out as my first one. And it got me thinking. I'd also been looking through some of my old magazines. And this one, The World of Cross Stitching, it had an article inside all about these cushions. And I thought, so it got me thinking that perhaps next year, I'm looking at future plans for next year, what I can stitch and things. I might look to stitching one of these a month, themed around each of the months. So when the next Christmas comes along, I'll have 12 in a basket that will be themed around the year. I don't know if any of you have ever stitched anything like these. Put something in the comments if you have. Let me know if you like these sort of things. And also if you know of anywhere where they do patterns with the different themes on. I can't quite remember where I got this pattern from. It's been a number of years, so but yeah, if you know of anything of these, love it if you dropped it in the comments and let me know when I can perhaps look for some patterns, and I think it'd be quite exciting to do one of these every month themed on that particular month and then have them all in a basket at the end. So that's something to think about for next year. So coming on to finding Mildred. So I shall talk about Mildred quickly. I twice now have been into charity shops and saw one of these in the window, but have just been pipped to the post by somebody else buying it. and I've been looking for one for so long to sit in my sewing room. So just before lockdown, into the charity shop I went, and there it was, sitting on the back shelf underneath some things. As soon as I saw it, I said to my husband, need that, must have that, that's just what I've been looking for. Took it away, brought it home. It's in fully working condition, all the parts to it, and I am so looking forward to it being in my sewing room and having the chance to play with it. So here is a picture of Mildred. Yeah, I've called her Mildred, and I'm just so excited to have actually found one and own one now, and just looking forward to playing on her and doing some of my stitching with it. So I think it wasn't a bad charity shop week for me. I'm really pleased with what I've found, and really pleased with the finishes that I've done, and have things on the go to keep me busy. So we'll see how we go. I hope you're all safe and well wherever you are. Have lots to do, lots of stitching going on. If you like this video, please give me the thumbs up, and I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. You can press the notification bell, which will notify you of future videos that I do. I really enjoy watching the Flosstube community and watching what you all do and keeping up with all your stuff. I think it's especially nice at this time that we all join together and we can all have a common interest and keep ourselves going. So until I come again, happy stitching, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.